Hi everyone, my name's Sarah Boswell and I'm the podiatrist at ATUNE. So today I'm going to be talking to you about different shoes, different footwear. That's another one of the most common things I get asked, so what makes a good shoe? And that's a really good question because it varies between people and occupation, what you have to wear for school, and also the season. So that's a really important one to keep in mind for summer as well, as a lot of summer shoes are not the best for your feet. So I'll just run through a couple of the most common shoes I see come into the clinic. So the first one's being a thong. So this is actually an example of a good thong. I tend to recommend these for people because as opposed to a flat thong that most of you will have seen, it's very flat, unforgiving, and doesn't support the foot at all. It's probably the worst type of shoe I see come in. So what we're looking for is a really good cushion. It's actually got a little bit of a rocker bottom, if you can see that, so that encourages forward moving gait, which is important to not have, moving one way or the other too much, rolling in or out. We want a really good arch support, of course, and we also don't want too much rubbing, so this is nice and cushioned through between the toes, so it's not going to cause any skin breakdown. So that's a really good one to look for in summer. It's also really good for heel pain too, because you can see just how much cushioning's there. Some other common summer shoes too. So this one is an example of probably not the best sandal. You can see it does have a lot of fixation, so that's actually a good thing. We want to have more straps to hold it onto your foot more securely, but you can also see it's very, very flat. So that just means it's no shock absorption. You'll have a lot of that shock going up into your feet and knees. It's not good to stand in for long periods. And also these straps are actually quite flimsy, even though we do have them there. So that means your foot will be moving too much within the shoe. So you can wear them maybe on a night out or something like that, but probably something to keep in mind is when you're walking for longer periods to opt for something similar to this. So with this one, you can see it's also fairly flat, but the difference being there's a lot more heel fixation, so it has a heel counter. That means it's going to hold and support your heel more, and it also has some really good arch support here, and also some lateral arch support too, which is another thing most sandals will not have. So just basically look for a good brand. If you have any questions, I'll pop some up on the website for you, or you can have a look at some of my blogs, and I can give you some good options as to what type of brand to look into. So with running shoes, this is a really good thing to keep in mind, is that you want, obviously laces are in most running shoes, but if you've got Velcro, try and get ones that just aren't too loose for you, because you want to make sure it's fixated onto your foot appropriately. So you want a good strong heel counter. You want a good medial support through here, particularly if you have what's termed a flatter foot or one that rolls in more. And you also want it to only bend at this point here, which is through, the ball of the foot area. We don't want to see bending anywhere through here, because that just means you've got too much movement happening where you don't want it. So these rules that I mentioned can also be applied to different shoes. So school shoes, any type of shoe basically. You want good fixation, good heel counter, good support through the arch, and if you can, try and get a removable inner sole. So if you're finding difficulty with fitting in the toe area or something like that, you'll be able to drop your foot down and it can still fit and be a little bit more comfortable that way. Now I want to talk to you about different lacing techniques. So this is actually a really common question I get asked, is how to adjust your laces. When you do have the correct fit, you want to make sure that they're still feeling comfortable for you, so you get the most wear out of your shoes. So if you've got a wide forefoot, you can see that the laces are not crossed over towards the bottom. They have more parallel laces at the front, and that just means you've got less pressure near the front. If your whole foot is feeling too tight, and say if you just are prone to a swollen foot perhaps, or if you just have a wider shoe and a wider foot and you've tried everything else, just try less crossover and bring the laces across each time, and you'll find that takes a lot of the pressure off. With high arches, this is actually quite a common one. you just want to bring these parallel, so still have the crossover at the top and the bottom, but bring the laces in the middle section parallel, and that takes the pressure off the higher arched area of the foot that could be rubbing. So what the last one here, the heel slipping, so that one's a really common one in hikers or runners as well. We just want to create like a lace lock, which is quite common. Most people have heard of it. Just means you bring it back through the top eyelet again and lock it through so it just doesn't allow it to move. The other one here, the black toenails or toe pain. First of all, just make sure that the fit is good for you. You don't want it to be too tight or too short. So if you have any questions regarding that, just pop into the nearest shoe store and get measured so you're actually the right size. But also if you've tried all of that and you're still having that issue, just bring one lace up completely up the side and the other one zigzag, and you'll find that that takes a lot of the pressure off the toe box area. Alright, so thank you for listening to me. If you have any other questions, just check out the website and have a look online and check out the blogs as well. Thank you.